All right, so I've been working at this for about 40 minutes, and so I've got the stator cover on. So I had to get the timing chain guide back on, the new timing chain, and then the magneto, the big magnet, then the cover back on, put the 4 new stainless steel bolts, and then all those parts were just in different bags and stuff, so I kind of had to dig for them to find everything. And then what I've been doing is I actually filled the bottom half with oil. I took the filter off, cleaned it out, put a new little O-ring, and put a quart of oil in there because this motor's been sitting on a shelf for a long time. So then I sat here and spun it by hand until oil came out of the pump right here where it comes up to the head. So I basically primed it. And now I'm gonna let it sit this way, at least while I'm getting the rest of my parts together and stuff. There's some oil sitting in it, just soaking into the clutch plates, soaking in everything. So next is I'm gonna have to hone out the cylinder. I have just a hone for my drill, which I normally do, so I'll hone this out, see if I can clean it up. I don't believe it's too bad, honestly, but just get it all cleaned, and then I've got new gaskets. So new gasket, load the new piston, put the new gasket in place, load the cylinder on, the other timing chain guide, put the head on. Before we put the head on, we're gonna put new valve stem seals in here. I've already done that once to this head, but to me it's just cheap insurance. I already have them, so just pull the springs, put them on, put the cam in place, set the timing, and then the motor's done. And then obviously I gotta continue with the frame. So we're gonna strip everything down, but I wanted to get the engine completely done on this one because this engine is a parts engine, and then I'm using spare parts and other things. So anything on the frame, I mean, I can pretty much make or track down. The engine I'm gonna have to order if I need parts. So I just want to get it all together like a crate motor ready to go, and then I'm gonna jump into the frame because the motor is the most important and expensive part. But yeah, so moving along here, this will be pretty much probably another hour and a half labor into the motor to get it all put together, and then just picking away at the frame. All right, so I finished up in the engine, got it all put together. Now I just need to move on to the frame. It went together pretty good. This engine's kind of like a weird Frankenstein engine, in a good way and a bad way. Like this cover on the side here is like brand new. There's not even just barely any scratches on it. And the top end is older, and if you come over here to my other engine, the bottom end is old and it's got the new top end on it. So I almost want to take this cover off and put it on my bike that I keep, just because it's like looks like it's like showroom. I mean, compared to, I don't know, there's a good example. Compare that to that. But other than that, no, everything went together really good. So we're gonna strip everything off that frame, probably paint it like I did this one, and then just replace all the missing hardware and fix the electrical and see if we can get it into running condition. Once I get the frame all stripped and I inventory what I'm missing, I'm gonna have to order new sprockets, chain, throttle tube, grips, cables. I think some of the cables here are intact, but it's pretty cheap to buy all new cables, so I'm just probably gonna do that, make it easy on myself. But moving right along. All right, so a little bit of time has passed. I got this bike all stripped down. I have it sitting up on a little trailer right now because it makes it easier to work on. It's like my little lift. But the other bike is gone. The other XR, somebody came, picked up, sold. So now the first one of the pair is sold. This one remains. Sold that one for $1,500. I think it's hard for me to say exactly how much I had into it just by itself, but the project as a whole, I'm running about $950. So right now I'm up about 500, and I have nothing into this, essentially, is how I can look at it. Of course, I had a donor engine already, so that's not figured into the cost. The cost to fix it is, but not the actual cost of the engine, so it's kind of weird numbers. But got the frame all stripped down, cleaned up, and I ran into a problem. There was a Chinese wiring harness on this bike, and somebody decided they were gonna like move an engine mount, so they went ahead and cut it, and then never did anything else. So that needs to be welded. It is like stiff. Like if I like can barely try to move it, but I don't know how to weld. So I got a welder here. Got some stuff to practice on. Gonna see if I can just tackle it myself, but gonna clean it up with a wire wheel, run a couple test runs, and see if we can just get that welded up. It's just an engine mount. It's not actually, I mean, it does reinforce the structure, but this tube is what carries most of the stress. I mean, and this tube don't even move. But we'll see if we can get that welded up nice, and then we can move along. But other than that, everything with this bike has went good. All the parts are here except for the tires. I haven't ordered new tires for it yet. That's kind of a last thing for me, just because I don't want to hurt the tires while I'm working on it or something, and then it's just kind of like once everything is done, that's not a hard thing to just, you know, do at the end. So anyways, we're gonna see if we can get the welding out of the way and move forward on this one. But one of the bikes is gone, so sad to see it go, but happy someone's enjoying it, and you know, turned it from a pile of parts to a nice bike that somebody wanted. So we're gonna try to do the same with this one. All right, so as I said earlier, I have no idea how to weld. So what I've done first is I've cleaned this up, and I have this fender that came off this trailer. I ordered 2 new fenders because one of the fenders was missing, got busted off, so I got 2 new ones, but I had one of the old ones. So I decided I'm gonna use this as my tester piece to try to figure out what the hell I'm doing. And good news for me is it seems to be about the same thickness, roughly, and it's got about the same gap. So I think it's a good practice. I got 4 basically different templates of it, and if that doesn't work, I have a metal shear or a grinder. I could just grind a bunch of notches in this and just keep going. But I wire wheeled a couple clean spots, got the welder here, got some stuff, this pair of welding gloves, 2 different helmets. I don't think I need this hammer, but I grabbed it. There's just, I have a box full of welding stuff someone gave me, so yeah, let's see if we can see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. All right, I got a couple practice welds on that thing. Definitely am not gonna win any awards as a welder, but I'm interested to give it a shot. So we're gonna see what we can accomplish here and get going on it. All right, so after some problems with the welder, I had to put some oil on all the pulleys or the tensioners and stuff to get the wire to feed at a steady speed. I was fighting it because it kept surging. But after some welding, grinding, and I threw some paint on there, I got it. So, you know, not perfect, but I definitely was thorough about it. Threw a little coat of paint on there so it doesn't rust, and moving on. So on to the next thing. Somebody did put a grounding strap right there. There was supposed to be one here and then one here. So just for fun, I might go weld those up, those holes. That hole they drilled up, just because I now have the means. But other than that, finished stripping everything down, a wire wheel, you know, the rest of it, give the rest of the frame a touch up of paint, and then we can drop new parts in.